This is the News at 6 on NBC3.
First at 6, use of the abortion pill is on the rise. Some women around town are speaking out about RU 486. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bessa Tefili.
And I'm James Munoz. The FDA approved RU 486 2 years ago. The drug is now responsible for more than 100,000 abortions. We asked some San Angelo women why they think the abortion pill RU 486 is so popular. We're working this one live for you. NBC3 reporter Ramonica Jones has more. Ramonica.
And all of you at home are probably wondering who this is next to me, and this is our newest member of our staff and our news director of NBC3, James Munoz. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here. If you've ever doubted whether we work harder, just show up here one day. This staff is remarkable, working harder for you. It's just amazing. I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you very much. And stay with us. There's still much more ahead coming up.
There are lots of animal lovers across the U.S., but one family in New York is being accused of not caring for their pets, and now they're paying the price.
If you think you've tried everything to get rid of your back pain, we've got some new information that might help you out.
And if you're looking for a way to weave in and out of just about any kind of traffic, there may be a solution. We'll tell you about it a little later in the show. Stick around. Weather's up next. Good evening. I'm Bessa Tefili.
And I'm James Munoz. Ivan Nava has the night off. It's the second infant death in a matter of months, 2 months. This time, police say they don't have any suspects. Tonight, family members and the baby's mother are planning a funeral for their 7-month-old baby girl. The cleanup continues today after a train derailed in Coleman yesterday. 17 Burlington Northern Santa Fe train cars derailed, leaving this mess to clean up. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Authorities say a number of cars overturned, including one tanker car that leaked some liquid, but hazardous material experts say there were no serious problems linked to that substance. One home was evacuated as a precaution. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. It's been a nice day today, not so bad. A little cold out there and a little windy.
And it looks like rain, too. Let's head into the storm lab for a quick check at our forecast. Jeremy?
And Alex joins us with sports.
That's right. There's been a big coaching vacancy at Lakeview for a while. Volleyball has been absent, but today they decided who's going to be the coach. And coming up, we will talk to the new coach, who's not as shy as her name suggests.
Thanks.
I'm worried about Alex for his smart comments about Mr. Clean.
He better be nice.
Seriously, we'll be right back with our final note. In our final note, thousands gathered in Virginia this morning for the annual Pony Roundup and Run. About 150 wild horses swam across the channel to Shinto Tag. The 77-year-old tradition was made famous by Marguerite Henry's 1947 novel, Misty of Shinto Tag.
After completing the 80-yard swim, the ponies were rounded up and held in a pen. They'll be auctioned off tomorrow to raise money for a fire department in the area. The ponies not sold will swim back Friday to roam free for another year on a national wildlife refuge.
They're very pretty. Thanks for choosing NBC3 San Angelo as the source of all your local news, weather, and sports.
The Tonight Show with Jay Leno is up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night. Good evening, everybody. I'm James Munoz.
And I'm Bessa Tefili. Family members of the San Angelo man shot and killed during a drug bust say they have questions they want answered.
Tonight, San Angelo police say they did find drugs during Tuesday's deadly drug bust. The Rio Concho Multi-Agency Drug Task Force and SWAT team raided the home. Police had a search warrant and an arrest warrant for 21-year-old David Moses Chapa Jr. Police say Chapa opened fire on the officers. The officers shot back and ended up killing Chapa. After the homicide investigation, the task force found 22 grams of what's believed to be methamphetamines, and they say they found 8 ounces of what may be heroin. Police say they also found scales, syringes, and 4 handguns, including the one Chapa allegedly fired. The drugs were sent to Midland for a detailed analysis. Police arrested this man, Inés Cisneros de la Cruz Jr., on drug charges.
Friends and family members remembered David Moses Chapa Jr. tonight with a candlelight vigil in his honor. We're working this one live for you. NBC3 reporter Ramonica Jones is live from Waco Street with more. Ramonica?
Bessa, Waco Street is quiet tonight. More than 50 of David Chapa Jr.'s friends and family members are here for a candlelight vigil in his honor. Most of them just want to pray. People living in the neighborhood where David lived gathered to pray for David and his family. They say their friend was a nice, friendly, artistic kid who never bothered anyone. Chapa's funeral is tentatively set for Friday. We're joined now by David Chapa Jr.'s mother, Blanca Avila. Miss Avila, what do you want the community to know about your son?
I want them to know that he's not who they made him out to be. He's a very compassionate child very loving, very caring, very well loved and respected in this community by many members of all different ages and races. What they made him out to be is wrong. What they came here and did to him in his home at night was wrong. They took away a life of a boy that did not get to live, did not get to enjoy the fullest potential that he had ahead of himself. He was asleep. He was asleep when this took place. And he was killed. He was shot. He was shot to death in his room on his bed.
Thank you for joining us, Ms. Seville. I'm sorry for your loss. The officers involved in the shooting are now suspended with pay pending the investigation. The Chapa family has contacted the San Antonio chapter of LULAC for legal advice. Reporting live from Waco Streets, Ramonica Jones, KACB, NBC3 News.
Tonight, authorities need your help to find 29-year-old Hank Brian Turnbow. He's this week's most wanted fugitive. On June 26, Tom Green County authorities say Turnbow led a deputy on a high-speed chase, then escaped on foot. Turnbow managed to elude authorities during a 10-hour manhunt near Mathis Field. 29-year-old Turnbow is charged with possession of a controlled substance and evading arrest. He's 5'10", 190 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. He has an Indian bird tattoo on his wrist and a tribal band tattoo on his left arm, and a sunflower with a peace sign tattoo inside his right arm. For more on this story, you can go to our website at kacbtv.com. If you have information on this story, call Crime Stoppers at 658-HELP or 1-800-756-3434. Democrat candidate John Sharp, who's running for Texas Lieutenant Governor, was in town today meeting with supporters. John Sharp is a former state senator, railroad commissioner, and state controller. His opponent, Republican David Dewhurst, was in town yesterday. Sharp holds a slight lead in the polls and a majority of the independent vote. Sharp was in Abilene Tuesday and in Midland earlier today. He'll visit 24 other Texas cities over the next few weeks.
And it was very hot today. We were live at the pool and it was hot. That's all I can say.
We would have jumped in, but we'd have been late tonight.
Yes.
Let's head into the storm lab where Chief Meteorologist Doc Deason is standing by with our first check of the forecast. Not too bad. Some people would say we've had a mild summer because usually we're hitting the hundreds by now consistently.
It seems that way when you look at the numbers, but when you walk outside, it doesn't seem mild at all. In news that works for consumers, anyone with cats will tell you they're extremely clean animals, but they do have that litter box thing that you have to take care of.
That's right, but one product claims it can take the mess out of the litter box, eliminating having to scoop altogether. NBC3 reporter Carl Rundgren has this week's Does It Work? You know, when it comes to holiday decorating, most people make it a green Christmas. NBC3 anchor Juliet Bickford has some holiday decorating tips. It's been a nice day today, not so bad. A little cold out there and a little windy.
And it looks like rain, too. Let's head into the storm lab for a quick check at our forecast. Jeremy?
Since last month's heavy rains, mosquitoes are everywhere. Some people in one neighborhood say their streets are infested with mosquitoes. Neighbors say they're not just concerned because mosquitoes bite, but because they may be deadly. It's nice to have the wind. I'm from Lubbock, and they say the wind in Lubbock is actually it's more windy in Lubbock than it is in Chicago, which is the windy city. So
I think it's pretty windy here. It was windy today anyway.
I like it. I'm from West Texas, glad to be back home and enjoyed the snow Wednesday. What did you make a snowman?
I didn't make a snowman, but I saw plenty of snowmen around town, and I noticed it's going to be rainy later in the week.
Too bad it went away. I wish it had stayed.
No snow.
All right. You know, hundreds of animals from horses to emu to llama were confiscated from a family in upstate New York.
The owners face animal abuse charges in connection with an investigation that began in the summer of 2000. AJ Legault has the story from the town of Mentz. Good news tonight for those of you with bad backs. Researchers have uncovered what may be the leading risk factor behind chronic back pain.
NBC3's health specialist, Helen Chickering, joins us now with what works for your health. Researchers say weight is also a risk factor for back pain. On average, the low back pain patients in the study weighed more than those without pain. And you know, every night this month during December, we're going to be showing you some different holiday homes around town, and boy, are they lit up.
Here's a look at our first one. Stay with us. We're coming right back with our final note. In our final note tonight, an accomplished inventor reveals his latest creation. It's a battery-powered super scooter that inventor Dean Kamen says will revolutionize transportation. Kamen revealed the scooter in New York City this morning and provided this videotape of various demonstrations and applications.
The two-wheeled device called Segway is a cross between a scooter and a rotary lawnmower. It can reach a top speed of 17 miles an hour. The heavy-duty model goes for about $8,000. The U.S. Postal Service, General Electric, and the National Park Service are already in line to buy a Segway. A 65-pound consumer model will go for about $3,000, but it won't be on the market for at least another year.
Kind of expensive, but maybe instead of a car?
We need to get our staff here since they work so hard one of these scooters.
Carry the
go
camera
around.
around.
That's right.
Thanks for choosing NBC3 San Angelo as a source of all your local news, weather, and sports.
The Tonight Show with Jay Leno is up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night. There was a strange turn of events today in the case of Zacharias Moussaoui. NBC3 national correspondent Steve Handelsman has the latest. Police in the central Texas town of Hewitt are dealing with an odd set of circumstances in their search for a woman of Pakistani descent. This week, Tom Green County health inspectors handed down a total of 45 demerits at 3 different restaurants. Here's what's not on the menu. Henry's Diner got 13 demerits. Inspectors found a dented can of green beans. The hand-washing sink in the food prep area needed repairs. Several refrigerators needed thermometers, and there were no towels at a hand sink. Inspectors gave Fuentes Downtown Cafe 10 demerits. Inspectors found someone not washing their hands properly. Food items weren't covered properly in a vault. There were no towels in the bar area. Inspectors noted a dirty can opener and the floor, and some equipment needed cleaning. Hidalgo's restaurant got 22 demerits. Inspectors caught employees eating and drinking in the kitchen. There were no towels or soap in the kitchen restroom, and inspectors caught an employee not washing their hands between jobs. It's not on the menu. And here's a look at this week's perfect scores. Chadburn Street Deli at 109 South Chadburn, perfect score. Catfish Corner at 1313 West Beauregard. Mule Creek Barbecue at 1207 West Beauregard. And Family Burritos at 51 East Avenue K. Perfect score. They all got perfect scores of 0 demerits. Congratulations to them. It's hard to do.
It is. Stay with us. Your complete triple Doppler forecast is coming up right after the break. In tonight's final note, it was an exciting day at the Roger Williams Zoo for Tipsy the tortoise. Tipsy is a 21-year-old radiated tortoise. About a year ago, he sprained his left front foot and has been in physical therapy ever since.
When caretakers at the zoo realized Tipsy didn't break any bones, they designed a skateboard-like contraption to suspend the tortoise. Today, Tipsy was officially pronounced healthy, and off came the training wheels. Zookeepers will reunite Tipsy with 5 other mates in his pen. He's going to have to slow down because that probably speeds him up a little bit. And before we leave, we do want to say bye to Nick Morrissey. He's a fine newscast director here for almost 3 years, and we're going to miss him and we wish him well. He's the one that makes us look so good up here.
He does. I was going to say I wish he could run out and say hi, but then you couldn't see us anymore. No. And that wouldn't be fun. Thanks for choosing NBC3 San Angelo for the source of all your local news, weather, and sports.
The Tonight Show with Jay Leno is up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night.
Now, live, this is the News at 6 on NBC3.
We had the latest on Tuesday's drug bust. I'm Christi. We'll have a live report coming up.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bessa Tafili.
And I'm James Munoz. The San Angelo Police Department and the Texas Rangers are investigating Tuesday's fatal drug bust. We're working this one live for you. Tonight, law enforcement authorities are working side by side investigating the suspicious death of Michael Lee Clay Jr. Police and firefighters found a burning car in the early morning hours of June 29th at Target's parking lot. A man was found inside the car who was later identified as 20-year-old Michael Clay Jr. A preliminary autopsy report shows Clay was alive during the fire because of the smoke found in his lungs. Police say they're still trying to figure out exactly what happened. The FBI and the Texas Rangers are investigating the death. The Catholic Diocese of San Angelo is looking for ways to prevent sexual abuse in the church. Today, Bishop Michael Pfeiffer met with media and professionals in a roundtable discussion about sexual abuse. A 22-year-old TCU football player is behind bars in connection with the death of his girlfriend's baby. NBC3 national correspondent Susan Risden has the story. Bessa, the fast-paced technological world can be confusing, add a little holiday stress, and you might not get the right gift. NBC3 reporter Christi has some tips before you go shopping for that high-tech gift. A local priest is making history as he rises in the ranks in the Catholic Church. Father Joe Vasquez is the first priest from the Diocese of San Angelo to be appointed as a bishop. He'll be leaving St. Joseph's Church next month to become auxiliary bishop to the Diocese of Galveston, Houston. Vasquez has been a pastor of St. Joseph's since 1997 and says saying goodbye won't be easy. In working stories across the state, a Texas man already in prison for murdering his wife was back in court today. Tonight, Patrick Timothy Richardson is charged with trying to hire a fellow inmate to kill his brother-in-law. Right now, Richardson is serving a 60-year prison sentence for the 1999 murder of his wife in their home in Dallas. That murder happened in front of the couple's children. Richardson's children now live with his wife's family. Bessa, the Israeli cabinet is trying to decide their next move in their attack on Yasser Arafat's headquarters. This latest attack started this morning. NBC's Jim Hanchett has more.
Happy holidays and welcome to the NBC3 Christmas Special with James Munoz, Ramonica Jones, Alex Lowe, Doc Deason, Donovan Campbell, and Katie Evans.
Welcome to an NBC3 Christmas special. For the next hour, we're going to show you a whole show packed with news, information, interviews, songs, and of course, Christmas stories. And at the end of the show, we have a surprise visitor. For now, let's go to Katie Evans. Katie. Thank you, Ramonica. Joining us now is State Representative Scott Campbell. We elected him in November. Thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing Christmas Day.
Well, we'll be home for Christmas. Our family, my wife's family's here, my family's here, and so we'll be with my folks out at Paint Rock on Christmas Day, and we'll be with her folks before that. We always usually have a little gathering with her family at Rio Concho Manor a day or two before Christmas. And my wife has 6 sisters, wow. And so when you gather up all of her family, it's quite a gathering.
And there's nothing like Christmas in West Texas. Tell me some of your fondest memories.
My fondest memories, I think, would be of my grandmother Sims's Christmas Eve gathering at her house when I was a kid. She would have a great big Christmas tree out in her front yard, and she would have all the family there. And my grandmother Sims was always a great Christmas present buyer. She always knew what we all wanted, and she just kind of spoiled all the grandkids. But we used to have a great time, and she would always have Santa Claus would always show up, and it would be one relative or the other, and and it was always kind of a challenge for the kids to try to figure out who the relative was, because they could always disguise themselves pretty well. But we had a good time back then.
Great. And now that you represent the Concho Valley, you're going to be heading next month. You'll be terribly busy in Austin. What do you wish for people in San Angelo this holiday season?
Well, I think with all the terrorism that's going on, we just wish for peace and happiness, and we hope we can have just a safe year. And I hope that the folks here can get beyond some of the local problems that we've been confronted with, and just be together. We're all just Texans. We're Americans first, and we're Texans, and we're all just one people. And I hope we can just all live in harmony and all get along and have a good, safe, happy year. All
right, I agree. Thanks for being with us. State Representative Scott Campbell with us, and we'll send it over to Doc, who's tracking Santa Claus tonight. With me now are the 3 hosts of Hispanorama, Mike Garcia, Beck Lopez, and Joanne Rodriguez. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
You have a picture here. Tell me, first of all, what it is and why it's important to you.
Well, it's a picture of my family. This is my grandmother and her 17 children. My dad is included, and this is what Christmas means to me. We go home and we eat tamales, of course, and we just hang out with the family, and that is just the neatest thing to do. And we do this in Easter too, but this is the season that we're celebrating tomorrow, actually, tonight and tomorrow, so I just wanted to show this picture.
Terrific. Thanks for sharing that with us. Joanne, tell us your favorite part of the holiday season.
Oh, well, of course, absolutely. It's spending time with family and loved ones, and just watching the kids open up the presents first thing in the morning when they get up, if they're lucky enough to be with me.
And now, what do you guys have planned for Hispanorama this holiday? Anything special?
James, first of all, thanks for inviting us to be on NBC3. We're thinking, as a matter of fact, we are going to be at the mall kind of doing little mini interviews with the people and the kids, and see what Christmas means to them. But that's what we have planned. Of course, we're going to be out and about the 24th and 25th.
Okay. That's really what it's all about, is La Familia. I'm glad you brought the picture. Joanne, tell me some of your favorite memories about Christmas. Anything special pop out?
I guess if I have to go all the way back, it would be probably when my son, who is now 20, we were getting his gifts ready. He was about 3, and we had just finished reading Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and he was sent to bed so he could finish getting the toys ready. And he saw the backlights of a car, and he came in hollering into the next room that Rudolph had landed in our yard. And so that's probably one of the neatest stories.
Well, we appreciate you all 3 being with us, and we're tracking Santa Claus, but Pancho Claus has already come, right?
That's right.
So let's head it over to Doc Deason, who's tracking Santa.
Archbishop Patrick Flores. James?
Joe, we're about a block away from the hostage situation. We're in the the west side of San Antonio. Now, police say a disturbance call from a secretary from the church came in around 10:22 this morning. She said a Latin male in his 30s was threatening the archbishop and possibly had a hand grenade. Now, 70-year-old Patrick Flores, the archbishop, is said to be okay right now. The suspect, again, is described as a 30-year-old male. He's from El Salvador and has been in the U.S. for 25 years. It's not known whether or not he's here legally or not. His wife and 3 kids were with him, and his family was said to be on the scene. But for now, Archbishop Patrick Flores has been with this suspect for about 8 hours now. A few more facts for you on Archbishop Flores. He was the first, in 1970, he was the first Mexican-American bishop in the U.S. He's a native Texan of Jackson County. He's been a Catholic leader for 43 years. Right now, the strategy of the FBI and San Antonio police is to keep calm and hopefully reach a peaceful resolve during their negotiations. Finally, just a few more facts for you. Violence in the Catholic Church, in any church, of course, is very rare. The last incidents happened in the early 80s. In 1980, Bishop Oscar Romero in El Salvador was shot and killed, and in 1981, Pope John Paul II survived a gunshot wound to the abdomen while in St. Peter's Square in his Pope-mobile. There are said to be about 1 million Catholics in the San Antonio Archdiocese. Of course, them and Catholics around the nation are hoping for a peaceful resolve. Reporting live in San Antonio, James Doughty, 3 News.
Yes, let's certainly hope we don't have a problem with any similar to what you described just there. James, I wonder if you can still hear me, can you?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Okay, I'm curious about what the FBI is doing to resolve this crisis. They are on the scene, are they not?
They are. The FBI and the San Antonio police are both here. Right now, they're just in negotiations. They're trying to keep this guy calm. There is word that this guy is deranged, perhaps a mental patient. But the strategy is just to stay calm and reach a peaceful resolve over the phone. They do say that Archbishop Patrick Flores is safe. They can hear him behind the phone lines. Joe?
All right, James. We'll stay with it, of course, and have more just as soon as we can get it to you. Our James Doughty is in San Antonio tonight, and he joins us now from San Antonio's ABC affiliate, KSAT, with the latest. James?
Joe, Archbishop Patrick Flores is in good condition tonight at a San Antonio hospital. He'll be left there overnight just for observation. Meanwhile, authorities are questioning the man who held him hostage. For almost 9 hours, 70-year-old Archbishop Patrick Flores was held hostage by Nelson Antonio Escolero. Police say the 40-year-old from El Salvador became angry over his immigration status, and they say he was disgruntled for having been mistreated by a number of U.S. governmental agencies.
I think his whole issue was to bring out what he felt were injustices that had been committed against him and other people dealing with immigration. That was the primary issue.
And I'm sure the Pope is praying for him. Many of the millions of Catholics in the area say violence in the church is a sign of the times, but violence against the highest-ranking Catholic in Texas is almost unbelievable.
You're talking about an archbishop. You're talking about the spiritual leader to 640,000 Catholics. That would be like taking hostage a mayor of a major city.
Well, it's very sad that something like this has to happen to him.
Authorities say Escolero surrendered after a heated discussion about today's return of Elian Gonzalez. They say they gained his trust after providing him with documents concerning his status in the United States. Escolero was in danger of being deported due to criminal charges. Now he faces 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping. Joe?
All right, James, we've heard about this grenade-like device. Did you find out anything else about that?
Joe, police say the handheld grenade which he used as a threat was a hoax. It was fake. The only injury to the Archbishop tonight is a stiff back, and when he was first confronted by the suspect, he was pushed down to the ground. Other than that, the suspect says he never intended to hurt the Archbishop. Joe?
All right, James, nice job. Thank you from San Antonio. Let's go live to James Doughty of our staff, who has just arrived at the scene. James, what can you tell us?
Joe, we're on Highway 44 where County Road 67 meets the highway. 3 people died here tonight. As you can see behind me, authorities are sifting through the debris. This Ford 4-door car was ripped in half. That's where the 3 people who died here tonight were in. If you'll take a look over here this way, there's a white Suburban. There were 3 people inside there, but apparently those people did survive. They were taken to a local hospital. One thing to keep in mind, the eastbound lane of Highway 44 is shut down to through traffic. So once again, there were 3 people who were killed here tonight in this accident. Authorities are sifting through the debris to figure out exactly how the point of impact happened. Joe?
James, we were told that at least 2 of those victims were kids. Have you heard anything about that?
Joe, it's quite possible. We did see a car seat over here in the debris, but they're not releasing the ages nor the names at this time until they know exactly what happened and who was inside that vehicle, of course.
Just a terrible scene there. All right, James, thanks very much for that live update.
Kangaroo on the loose in New York State.
When the kangaroo's owner opened the door to get the mail, Rutu hopped his way to freedom. Still wearing his diaper, Rutu hopped down the street and into a neighbor's yard. His owner tried to stop him, but the 12-month-old red breed kangaroo was just a little too fast. There he goes.
I didn't know you put a diaper on a kangaroo.
Well,
you learn something new every day.
Look, there's a hole for the tail. Oh, look at him.
James? we have lost it, but the kangaroo tried to make a break for it, but bounced off the fence and he landed right in the officer's arms. Rutu wasn't hurt, but
Otilia Franco Lopez Munoz was born in Big Spring, Texas on March 21, 1922 to Vidal Montoya Franco and Elena Mendoza Lopez. She was one of 9 kids. There's no picture available of her father, who was a twin. Elena Franco died when Otilia was in the 4th grade. In 1940, at the age of 18, Otilia married Maximo Acosta Munoz, son of Martin Munoz and Agustina Acosta. Maximo and Otilia had 10 children. 1 passed away. There's Chuy, Mickey, Tina, Lena, Fanny, Lucy, twins Martin and Max, and baby Fred. Otilia's 9 kids gave her 33 grandchildren. Otilia knew how to make each one of them feel wonderful. Always the comedian, she slipped away on April Fool's Day 2004 at the age of 82. She now walks the streets of Oro, and all of her descendants are truly blessed. Yes, you do.